Hey there, welcome to day 4 of our Get Up and Go Challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Today we're going to talk about the key areas of our life and we're going to prioritize them. Our tool today is prioritization, setting and deciding what's most important to you, your priorities, not my priorities, your priorities. Because so often we as humans struggle with decision making, struggle with choices, struggle with knowing what to do. But if we have our priorities set, if we know that taking care of our physical health is the most important thing for us to do right now, and our relationships or our finances take a second priority to that, then it's easy to decide whether you're going to go work out or not. It's easy to decide if you're going to go for a walk or not. It's easy to decide if you're going to eat that second helping of dessert or not, because your physical well-being is of high priority to you. So when I talk about the different areas and aspects of our life, I learned this from Tony Robbins decades ago, literally 4 decades ago, maybe a little longer, but 4 decades into the 4th decade for sure ago. And he, of course, learned it from Jim Rohn or some other very wise person. But he always talks about, and I've talked about literally for decades, 7 different areas and aspects of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. Now, this year, I've discovered, and I'm adding 2 more areas, and I call it the C3. So they're physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, and I call the contribution C3 because I want to add this year communication. Let's see if I wrote these right backwards, and confidence, because with Android phones, everything appears backwards. So I get to practice my backwards writing and see if it shows up forwards for you. And I ran out of a little bit of room for confidence, but I think it's important that we realize that our communication skills, our ability to talk and communicate, not only with other people, but with ourselves, is foundational to all these other areas and aspects of our life, as is our confidence. Our confidence comes from our ability to interact with other human beings and with ourselves, and from our ability to communicate what it is that we need and want and desire. So today, our assignment, it's going to be a quick and easy one today, is we are going to prioritize in 1 through 7. We'll just go 1 through 7, and we'll just assume that communication and confidence are important for all of us because they're foundational things. And I want you to, and I'm going to do it as well. I've done it 7 times now, and actually more than that, but 7 times in the last year. Rank these from most important to least important. Most important is number 1. Next most important to you, and this is however and whatever you want to put in that category of physical, mental, emotional health, spiritual health, financial health, relationships, all of your relationships, right? We have to bundle all of our relationships in that category. Contribution is, what am I here to do? What am I sharing with the world? How am I showing up? How am I making a difference? What's my legacy? And that might not even be on your radar. You might be just struggling to survive right now, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, given all the changes that have happened with COVID and the pandemic and in the last year or so. And maybe even prior to that, right? There were a whole lot of people struggling prior to the pandemic. The pandemic just hit us all up alongside the head simultaneously. But there's always been millions of people, millions of us going in and out of our own things all the time, our own challenges. So today, 7 areas: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, 1 through 7, 1 being most important to you, 7 being least important to you. And I think it's fun to go back now and look at, over just the last year, how my rank orders and my prioritization has changed. Back 20 years ago, physical was 7th for me. Physically taking care of myself and my well-being was dead last. It came in last. I was raising a family. I was dealing with multiple businesses. And so as far as me eating and sleeping and taking care of myself, way to the bottom of the priority list. And then in 2010, I had a sudden cardiac arrest, and I realized that fundamentally had to change, and I had to put my physical well-being in a much higher priority order than I had been placing it. And so now physical, for the most part, has been number 1 to number 3 for me personally for the last 10 years, because it has to be. If I want to still be here, if I want to have any energy, if I want to show up, if I want to impact any of the other areas or aspects of my life, if I even want to exist, I need to physically take care of myself. It's kind of like our communication and our confidence are all foundational. To me, my physical well-being has become foundational. All right, that's it today. Share in the comments below your top 3 categories, your top 3 areas, you know, physical, mental, financial, physical, emotional, spiritual, contribution, relationships, physical, whatever it is for you. Share your top 3 in no particular order, unless you want to share them in your first, second, and third order. That's absolutely up to you. But otherwise, just list 3 and we'll assume that they're in no particular order. Mine, I'm going to say, are physical. I'm going to say financial, because I think financially I want to make some massive changes this year. And then relationships, because there's a lot going on in my life. And to be honest, those 3 usually end up as the top 1, 2, and 3, kind of changing order sometimes. But for me, for a long time now, at least for the last 10 years, when physical made its way to the top 3, those 3 have kind of shifted and been the top 3 for me personally for a very long time. So mark on a piece of paper somewhere for yourself, 1 through 7, what's your priority order for each of these things. And right now, it might be you've lost your job and financially it has to take precedence over everything. It might be mental, or relationships, because you've been homeschooling your kids, home with your wife, and everybody's at each other's throats. It might be relationships. Whatever it is for you, we want to know so that we can incorporate that into this challenge so that you get the solutions and the results that you need, guaranteed. Have an awesome day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow for day 5 of our Get Up and Go challenge. Get up, go do this. It won't even take 5 minutes to prioritize these and figure out what's most important to you. Have an awesome day. Share in the comments below, and I'll see you tomorrow.